Hello children, good morning to you all. I welcome you all for today's class. Today we are going to learn about conservation of plants and animals. We are going to learn about how do we and why do we need to conserve our plants and animals in this chapter. Under this chapter, we are going to learn about different topics like ecosystem, species, biodiversity, importance of biodiversity, threats to biodiversity, deforestation, causes and consequences of deforestation, and we will also learn about endangered species, extinct animals, endemic species in this chapter. At the end of the chapter, we will learn about what is Red Data Book and what are the ways by which we are able to protect our environment. So, we will start today's class by learning the topic conservation. Conservation means to protect our flora and fauna. To protect about our flora and fauna. What do you mean by flora? Plants. Fauna means animals. When we are protecting them, when we are taking care of them and their habitat, that process it is called as conservation. What is habitat? Habitat is natural place of dwelling of animals and plants. Natural place of dwelling or natural place of living. That is called as habitat. So we need to protect these animals. We need to protect the plants. At the same time, we should take care of the shelter. We should take care of their habitat. This process of protecting these animals and plants is called conservation. Why do we need to conserve? We will learn about it. And what is the main habitat of these plants and animals? The main habitat of these plants and animals generally we see that is forest. You all must be aware that 1/5 of the area of our country is under forests. So these forests are very much useful or very much essential for the survival of all these plants and animals. So forest, as we have learnt in the previous class, that is forest our lifeline, how forests are important. We have learnt in that class, in the previous class. Forests protect the wildlife. Wildlife means the animals and plants surviving in the forest. We can also call them as wildlife. So wildlife depends on forests for food and shelter. Forests also help in maintaining the balance between carbon dioxide and oxygen in the atmosphere. As you all are aware that plants take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen during the process of photosynthesis. Forests also regulate the temperature of the earth. They maintain the water cycle in nature. They also maintain the water table by slowing down the flow of rainwater, which results in the increased absorption of water by the soil. Forests also help in checking down the floods. So thereby we say forests are very much essential, very much important for the survival of both plants and animals. So if we are going to destroy the forests on a large scale, if you are going to destroy the forest on a large scale, we call that process as deforestation. That phenomena of clearing of forest on a large scale to get that land, that process is called, that phenomena is called deforestation. Deforestation leads to lack of shelter or lack of habitat for many plants and animals. So we have to avoid cutting down of forests or cutting down of plants on a large scale in order to save these animals and plants. So what we need to do is that deforestation should not take place. So what are the major causes for deforestation? Deforestation means clearing down of forest and using that land for other purposes is called deforestation. So forests are destroyed in order to get the land, and that land may be utilized for many purposes. What are the main purposes we may use that land for? Maybe construction of buildings, setting up of cities, or for the sake of setting up of industries, or for the sake of agriculture we may use that land. So what happens? The forests are destroyed for the want of land. This phenomena is called deforestation. So deforestation is a major threat for both plants and animals. If deforestation takes place, the plants and animals both will be affected. In what way they will be affected, we will learn in the next. So deforestation mainly because to procure the land for cultivation, building of houses and factories, and making furniture or using wood as fuel. Also we may use the trees wood for making furniture. So these are the major causes for deforestation. So you can see here now, once deforestation is done, you may get land, but what are the other effects, harmful effects of deforestation we are going to learn in this. You must have heard about global warming, droughts, floods, groundwater depletion may occur because of deforestation. Deforestation leads to desertification also. Once you cut down the trees, plants from a forest, that area becomes like desert. Because once the plants are cut, the soil erosion will also take place because plants will only bind the soil. If there are no plants, the soil particles become loose. Easily that soil particles, the top layer of the soil will be washed away. So thereby the fertile land becomes like desert. So this process is called desertification. So deforestation leads to desertification. So whenever there is deforestation, there will be increase in the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere because there are no plants. If no plants, the carbon dioxide utilization by the plants will not take place. Ultimately, carbon dioxide in the atmosphere will increase. When the carbon dioxide increases, naturally the temperature of the atmosphere also will increase because carbon dioxide has the capacity to absorb the heat radiations reflected by the Earth's surface. So when carbon dioxide is holding the heat radiations, naturally what will happen? The temperature of the Earth will rise. This phenomena is called global warming. Temperature rising is required for the survival of the animals on the earth, survival of the plants on the earth. Some amount of warmth is required on the earth. That is limited amount. But if it is crossing the limit, that is carbon dioxide percentage is 0.03% on the earth. But if it rises above that, it may lead to rise in the temperature, which is also called as global warming. Global warming has taken place recently because of deforestation. And global warming has got again many other effects which may cause imbalance in our atmosphere. Another condition, when there are no plants on the earth, it may lead to drought. Drought is lack of water in the ground. That only happens when there is no rain. So if no plants, no trees, there will be no transpiration. No transpiration, so there will be no formation of clouds much. No clouds, naturally there will be no rain. So we say wherever there are forests, wherever there is more greenery, vegetation, there the rainfall is also good. Rain will take place very effectively. So thereby in that area, water table also will be, that is water table in the ground will not be affected. Depletion of water, groundwater will not take place. So when there is no plant or no trees on the earth in a particular area, that area is like desert. There will be no rains. No rains means drought condition will take place. And if no Sometimes if rains occur also, that may lead to floods. That means the water will be easily flown away or flown away along with the soil, top layer of the soil, causing in low lying areas it will cause sometimes floods. And deforestation also leads to the depletion of groundwater, because water will not be absorbed or percolated into the soil, but it will be flown away along with the top layer. So groundwater also will not be recharged. In that way we can say groundwater level in the ground also will reduce. So these are the major consequences of deforestation. So deforestation should be totally avoided. As far as possible, if we cut a tree or if we cut a small plant also, we need to grow another 10 plants in order to make the balance in the atmosphere, that is balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere should be maintained for the survival of both plants and animals. I think today I will stop children here. We will continue this lesson in the next class.